Okay, so I haven't publicly talked about this yet, but I'm risking thousands of dollars on something that's even bigger than dropshipping, right? So like over the past 6 months, I've been doing e-commerce. I started dropshipping in January, right? And at the point I'm at now, I can take a Chinese product, build a store, throw some ads up, make some sales, right? Some decent amount of money. But I decided that I want to do something bigger than that, right? That's good, but I want to do something bigger, right? So I decided I'm gonna create a real brand, a real private label brand. Talk to manufacturers, all of this stuff, and just generally create something I can last for 2, 3, 4, 5, and on years. You feel me? So I'm starting a real brand, right? Obviously, we have the dropshipping stores in the background, making a little bit of money just on the side, but my main focus at this point is to build something real, right? Now, the idea that I have, the product that I created, in my opinion, is something that I've never seen. Like I've never seen anybody use this product before. There are variations of the product, but I've never once seen somebody use this product, and that's why I think it's going to be so good. It's a problem solving product, right? I'm taking the same fundamentals from dropshipping, right? When you dropship, you want to solve a problem, you want to find, a solution to a problem that people have, right? But I'm doing that in my way that I've never seen done before. So obviously now the question is, what is the product, right? What's this product I'm talking about? And I'm a hold y'all. I'm not gonna leak it yet. Once it's up and running, then I start talking more about what I'm actually doing with the product. But just know I am working on something, and this is my advice to you, right? So if you've been doing drop shipping, maybe 6 to 7 months, you're making a little bit of money. I would recommend just going out and starting your own private label brand, right? It's, in my opinion, right, the risk to reward is insane, right? You're risking your money to put it into your own product that you can private label brand. You can do literally whatever you want with it. So the upside is way more than just a random product you find on Calidata, right? And don't get me wrong, right? I still do Calidata rips, right? I literally have like 3 or 4 stores running right now. I got subscriptions running, so there's income coming in from drop shipping. But my goals are just shifting. You feel me? Like we're not cutting out drop shipping, right? We're just shifting our goals, right? So obviously, there's still gonna be dropshipping tutorials, just life talk. You feel me? But just know that there is something, under that we are working on, right? And like I said, if you have any sort of questions, you wanna, run your own private label brand, you can hit me on Instagram, and I got you. Right? I can tell you like, how to get started, how to find your suppliers, all of that stuff, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, right? It's not as complicated as everybody makes it seem, right? When I was going into, starting a private brand, I thought it'd be a whole lot more complex. I thought, how am I gonna find a manufacturer? Like, what is all this stuff? Like, obviously, yes, there is stuff that you need to know, but at the same time, it's not as complex, right? But if I would say something that is a little bit complex, I've seen a lot of people try to run different supplement brands, right? So, you look at like Trenchies, you look at Halovin. I don't know if you know that. If you know Halovin, that's ball knowledge, right? But, yeah, bro, if you're trying to run an actual supplement company, that's when, you feel me, that's when we start getting into the complex territories because, it's a ingestible or a digestible, I don't know what the word is. If you're trying to sell something privately that people are eating, then you're going to need to, you're really going to need to do your research and, get really deep in the trenches with that. But that goes as far to say it's not impossible, it's just a bit harder, right? For me, I prefer to sell something that's not a consumable so that, it's a little bit easier because this is my first time running a private label brand. Obviously, it is consumable to a sense, because obviously, when I'm running stores, my whole mindset now is subscriptions, right? I'm not running a product if I can't run subscriptions on it. And that's just kind of how I am as a e-com operator, right? And obviously for you, if you're running stores, like I said, the same thing applies for me, bro. If you're running stores, I would just look for something that you can run subscriptions on, right? The reason why is because it's literally passive money, right? After you get that first sale, you have, a constant supply, right? So there's no reason not to. I would, in my opinion, right? Especially when running your own brand, I would look for something that you can use repeatedly over something that's gonna have, a instant purchase, like something that people are gonna be like, oh yeah, I need this, I'm gonna buy this, right? I would personally would rather take something that somebody buys and is gonna get sent over and over and over that one product that's that instant buy. If you get what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm like overcomplicating it, whatever, but that's what I would do personally. Um, but like I said, obviously everybody's different. That's just me. That's just my opinion. Obviously everybody has their own whatever. Okay, so one thing I do want to talk about, right? We're really going deep into starting your own brand, right? So a couple of people I would watch if you are genuinely interested in starting your own brand. I would watch Greg Lavecchia, right? Greg Lav. I really like his stuff. I know Adam Griffin just started his own brand. Um, It's one more dude. Hold on, I'm gonna see who it is. Okay, his name is Alex Robinson, bro. Honestly, that might be my favorite dude that I've seen right now that's starting a brand, because he's the owner of Hellevin, right? And he's generally breaking down step by step by step, from trademarks to, you know, TikTok affiliate to Shopify to literally everything, bro. He's breaking this down step by step by step. And honestly, I want to get to that point myself, but I'm literally learning it myself, right? I don't know, you know, much about trademarks. That's one of my, you know, we can get to that, right? That's one of my biggest fears, right? Now my biggest fear about running my own brand is that I'm scared that I'm gonna run this brand, I'm gonna make it go crazy, bro. I'm gonna put in all this work, I'm gonna make it go crazy, and then someone's gonna try to rip it. Like, Jen, somebody's gonna try to rip it, because obviously, you know how Calidata works. Say I put a product on TikTok Shop, it starts popping off, and then somebody comes on Calidata and just steals it, and I'm just like, damn, you feel me? Like, you know, but obviously, you know, that is kind of a part of the game, bro. You know, you do good, people want to do good too. So that's kind of, you know, that's just kind of what it is. But, um, you know, so I'm still trying to navigate that. You know, probably I think the best way to supplement that and get around it is by running a subscription. So your you know, your LTV is just higher than your competition. So you're able to spend more on ads and just kind of outpace them or whatever. So I don't know. That's just my opinion. But like I said, bro, we're just gonna end off here. Just a little short video for y'all. I'm excited though. Honestly, I'm really excited. I'm really passionate about this. It's something that's generally like passionate in my life. This product, this niche. So, you know, we're just gonna see where it goes. Like I said, I'm obviously update y'all with the, you know, updates, whatever. And yeah, bro, I'm going for the big play here, bro. But like I said, bro, if you finish all the way to the end, I really appreciate you guys. Generally, bro, my watch retention is like buns, bro. So if you finish it, I really appreciate y'all. But like I said, like sure, or make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said, again, if I got any questions, hit me up on Instagram. It's in the description, and I'll catch y'all boys later.